everybody. I'm Bill Sanders, and this is WatchArtSci, the art and science of watch collection. Today, what we're going to do is that we're sort of going to go into the coal mine and see if we can find any diamonds down there. And I think I have some for you. But first, what I want to do, we got the watch of the week, and the watch of the week is a surprise. First of all, it's a quartz watch, and second of all, it's an F.P. Journe watch. And let me tell you something about it. First of all, it's made of titanium. And by the way, this is Jaeger-LeCoultre was kind enough to let us use images of his watch. And the first watch, it was called the Elegant by F.P. Journe, was a woman's watch. And they did really well, and they have a rubber band, and so they're pretty much of a sports watch. And some guy said, well, you know, it'd be sort of nice if you had a men's version. So they did. This is a very much of a man's version. It's 48 millimeters, and made of titanium, and then it's got a rubber strap to it. Now, the thing that makes this interesting, this particular watch interesting, is that it was made from scratch, the movement and everything, by F.P. Journe. And when he does something, he does it his way, okay, which is usually a very interesting way. What he did was that when a person wears this watch, it, you know, ticks away like a regular watch. But here's the difference. In the lower right-hand corner, you can see that little movement indicator. When that thing's swinging, that means the watch is being used. However, as soon as it stands still, as soon as that little motor stops moving, so does the watch. And so when somebody takes it off to go to bed at night, the watch turns off. Well, the next morning, when you put it on, thing winds up, and it, boom, the dials go back to the time, the correct time. It's really an amazing phenomena. It's really very cool. I saw an ad with it once. I just was like, gee, that's incredible. If you look at the back of the watch, you can see the movement, and the movement is the plates are gold. So that's sort of nice. And like I said, it's an in-house quartz caliber 1210, solid gold bridges and plates, and there's a little heart right there that he put in, and they figured, well, you know, what the heck, you might as well add. See, this is to me what real design is about, and real artistry is about. Now, one more surprise about this watch is back on the face again. And the luminous material, rather than being on the dial, on the hands or the numbers, the entire dial is luminous, and it's covered up by hands and numbers. I mean, this is an incredible watch, and like everything else that Journe does, it's a little pricey. I think it's come out of the box about $10,000–11,000, but boy, I tell you, it's really an amazing watch. Okay, Jabbar, thank you, and now we're going to take a look at some watches that I found that I think, well, hey, these are interesting watches that they come within the reasonable range. I'll put it that way. Some of them are at a hefty price, but it's no more than you'd pay for you know, a lot of Breitling's, Cartiers, and other watches. So these watches are special, though. The first one I have is one that is a Jaeger-LeCoultre. It's called the Master Compressor Extreme World Chronograph. It was the 2005 Grand Prix winner of the sports watch. I don't know why I didn't have this one before, except probably the price is a little higher than most of them. of the lower price watches. I usually use the Aiguille d'Or, which not the Aiguille d'Or, but the Aiguille Petite Aiguille, which means a small hand, and those are all under 8,000 Swiss francs. Now this one comes in about 8,000 at condition 0. Those are not the boutique prices. That's like you can find them for that. Pre-owned, about 6,000, right in that neighborhood. Now this is a honey of a watch. I mean, for Jaeger-LeCoultre, it's got that world time with all of the different major cities around it. And so it was one. Now, it's a chronograph, and I'm not much of a fan of chronographs. They got a lot of racket on them, too much things for me. I like them really simple, but I do like this one. And so I thought, well, here's one that I found. I dug up out of the archives, and it's about, what, it's 12 years old now when they first came out with it, or when it first won the grand prize, but there it is. And that's the first one I'd like to recommend. And again, you're going up a level with a Jaeger-LeCoultre over getting something like a Zenith or a Rolex or Omega, one of those. This is a true high horology watch, and it's also a sports watch if you're a sports watch kind of guy. But they are pricey, so okay. This next one is another one that I think was overlooked, and it's called Girard-Perregaux Seahawk Reference 7100. Now, Girard-Perregaux has won a lot of Grand Prix awards. In fact, in 2016 they won 2. So Girard-Perregaux is to me, it's one of those companies that often is overlooked. And but they've got very good watches, and I think that they usually put them in the same category as a Rolex and Omega, but I think they probably belong up there with the Jaeger-LeCoultre and some of the high horology watches. Now this watch is a good deal, $1,000, pre-owned, in-house movement. That's a real sweet watch. I mean, these are the kind of things that I'd rather go out searching for than just get what all the guys are getting, something like that. Okay, this next one is a prize winner. Now, the reason I overlooked it is because the category called extra plat is same as ultra thin. The Peugeot in my El Ra is also the extra plate. Anyway, well, this one won the extra plate prize, and my El Ra didn't win anything. So, and this is one of those nice ones. It's a Blanc Pain. It has a Frederic Piguet 1153 movement in it. Now, okay, so I said, well, that's not an in-house movement. No, it's not, but it is. It's sort of like Blanc Pain bought Frederic Piguet, and then they were both bought by Swatch. So there is a connection there, and Frederic Piguet has made movements for some of the best watches. My Vacheron Constantin 1972 has a Frederic Piguet movement. So it's a good movement, and here you have a prize winner. Pre-owned, about $2,000. Now this is the kind of watch, if you're looking for a good dress watch and you don't want to spend a crazy amount of money, this is a really good one to go looking for. It's got 38 millimeters, so it's not one of those big Frisbee watches, but it's not one of those little bitty ones either. To me, it likes the 3 bears. It's just right. So anyhow, now the price there, the $2,000 price, pre-owned, that's a stainless steel model. Obviously, the gold ones are going to cost more, but heck, I'd go with a stainless steel. Not a problem whatsoever. Okay, so, and again, it's another Grand Prix winner. If you're going to get a good watch, get one that's got a grand prize to it, too. And when you, I don't know, Okay, let's take a look at the next one. Now this next one, I gotta tell you, it's got an in-house movement. It's called Jaeger-LeCoultre. Okay, I just like it. It's called the Grand Seconde Quantanine silver dial stainless steel. It's, to me, it's just a cool looking watch. Now, the thing about this is that FP Journe's got one like that with this kind of double dial and a figure eight, except his is about $50,000. This is one with an in-house movement. Jaeger-LeCoultre is up there with Patek Philippe and Vacheron Constantin. $6,000 isn't bad. That's brand new. And you get the cool looking watch on the larger bottom dial. You get also, in addition to your second hand, that's why they call it the big second Grand Seconde. But there's also the date. And so you can, it's a really very, very cool watch, and one that if I'm not careful, I'll go buy myself. I'm not careful. Okay, and it's a good buy. Now, $6,000 I know is a lot of money. But, you know, you go and you spend that much on watches that aren't so hot sometimes. Okay. Now, here's one I found that I absolutely love. So, Longines Classique. It's won the 2002 Grand Prix Public Prize. Now, the Public Prize, they're going to say, oh, well, that doesn't really count. Well, yeah, well, it really does, because they get a prize with a golden hand on it like everyone else. The public prize, of course, is when people vote for it. I think this year was Shizak won, and people said, well, you know, that thing was crowd-funded, and so they had all the crowd go out and vote for it, and they probably did. Doesn't matter. It won a prize. It's got an ETA in it. So what? It's $800 in condition zero, brand new. Now, there's not a problem with ETAs when you're charging ETA prices. It's perfectly fine. People say, well, you don't like ETAs. It's not that. I just don't like to see people pay high horology prices for something with an ETA in it. If you're going to pay $800 or between $800 and let's say $1,500 for a watch that runs perfectly fine on an ETA, not a problem. The problem is, like I say, is when somebody jacks up the price for a high horology watch, but they're putting in a standard movement, not their own. Okay, so this Longines is one of those little gems that, hey, you know, you want to get a grand prize winner, you can stick that in someone's face. All right. Okay, this next watch is IWC. And IWC is one of those watchmakers that I really like their watches, and I really don't like their watches. It's one of those things. I'm very schizophrenic about IWC. Now here's one. It's called the Portofino. Got a 40mm case, nice, clean, beautiful looking watch. And okay, so but it's cranking on a Sellita SW300-1. Now, there's, again, like ETA, which I think is being replaced by a lot of Sellitas, it's $4,500. This is the manufacturer's suggested retail price, and it's $3,000 in condition zero. Now, we just looked at a watch with an ETA in it, which Sellita copied, and it was $800. So you're really, to me, that's problematic, okay? You're going to put a Sellita in it, all right, so charge $1,000 for it. You know, it's $4,500 suggested manufacturer's retail price. I just don't see it. You can find them in condition zero for $31.95, which is still too much. That's in my opinion. Now, on the other hand, let's take a look at another IWC. This one is called the Pilot's Watch Mark 12, stainless steel, 40mm case. Now, this one, the manufacturer's suggested retail price is less than the Portofino, and yet it has a Jaeger-LeCoultre movement in it. Jaeger-LeCoultre has made movements for Patek Philippe, Vacheron Constantin, Audemars Piguet. It's a high level movement. I mean, yeah, I know it's not an in-house IWC, but it is a good movement. Okay, you take a movement company like Vasseur. Vasseur movements, I think they start at about $1,000 a pop. That's to the watchmaker. For some watchmaker, I mean, you put an ETA in there, you're not spending that much. You put a Solita, same thing. Okay, you're getting a different kind of movement. You put a Vasseur in there, you're getting a pretty good movement. Same thing with this watch. You put a Jaeger-LeCoultre in it, it is a better watch because it has a better movement. Okay, and I like this watch too, by the way. Okay, so that's pretty much it for today. What I want to say, what's important to me, is that we don't get ripped off. I just don't like it at all when somebody is selling us the sizzle and not the steak. And I'm afraid too many people buy it on the sizzle, buy the steak. Okay, all right. So anyway, let's hear what you think about that. Here's some watches, like I said, the good, the bad, and the ugly, I guess. But take a look at those. What do you think? Let's hear from you. Use the comment, not the condition. Use the comment. Again, if you'd like to subscribe, you're more than welcome. Okay, this has been Bill Sanders for WatchArtSci, the art and science of watch collection. See you Sunday with our next collection.